how Nisha was able to just dominate the map. Even though he was versus a DK, that was kind of only thing that he had to deal with, and he made so much space on the map. So let's see if the greed does work for OG, because I do see a world where Gaming Gladiators could just really take over this map. If they do hit an early item timing, they get an early Roche. There could be some damage issues for OG for this Nature's Prophet. But yeah, let's see how this all goes. And I've seen this a couple of times now. There's a puck that goes in the mid lane. He places his ward on his left side there, near his small camp, for vision, and then they put a sentry to block the camp, and it actually gets both. It blocks the camp and it dewards it. So I've seen that one many times now, actually, that people just lose their ward super early.
Sometimes you just want to get dewarded.
Yeah, sometimes. And who did get the deward? The experience was split for, what is the DK and the Bristle, it looks like. So, all right. How our lane's going to look, too. Ace playing in the off lane. Well, it looks like it'll be with the Tusk, but knowing Gaming Gladiators, they might move things around still. That lane could be problematic. Alk Tusk versus what looks to be a Marcy plus Nature's Prophet. I could see this Alk getting shut down pretty hard, so they're probably going to have to do some creep manipulations, which is why you see Tofu, as usual, for the most part, starting boots on Tusk. So they'll start pulling some creeps very early on. And they do have this deep ward, which gives him a little bit of extra intelligence, a little bit of ease of access to be able to try to pull these creeps. And they're actually going to switch things up. So OG, they're instead going to even put the Slardar bottom to deal with the Alchemist to put pressure onto him. Cool. A little bit of a change up. And OG maybe even putting up a aggro tri-lane, it looks like, for themselves.
See Misha really going for Celery here.
Celery might just die. Very slow hero, 275 move speed.
And with the slow of the Heavenly Jump,
they got him.
First blood for Tiger.
Smart for Tiger to go for the skill. Usually you don't see this taken level 1, but it is very strong level 1. 1.6 seconds slow. Marcy having a very good base attack time can stick on top of that. On top of that Viper. He even used the really cool kind of thing he did there too, is he jumped off of the, or he was gonna like wait to jump and pull him behind the treants to block him, so nice stuff. So they can do a lot of combos with these treants once he gets 2 on Misha.
Tiger, just harassing back the two of them here. Tofu and Ace, who are trying to get that creep wave drag around.
Lots of creep manipulation gonna be going on down here, even though we did see the lanes kind of switched up a little bit. Oh, Amar, he lost his range creep. Bottom. I mean, you don't have to look at it, but it's just kind of funny. I don't know why it did that. Like, he had it perfect to be able to pull this like creep aggro behind the town. That actually makes a difference, because now it's not going to deny the whole wave. While in top, you do see that whole wave getting denied from Gaming Gladiators. Tiger's doing the right thing, though. As support, this is what you should do. You can test them behind there so that the XP doesn't get wasted. Well, the same thing you see Tofu trying to do, but yeah, it's a pretty big deal that that range creep de-aggroed, because now lane will shove into the Alchemist's favor. And Bristleback is in that matchup versus the Nature's Prophet, so gets a little extra last hits versus Treants.
Yeah, they're ready to get very aggressive top. Duracho and Celery both ready to play behind the tower here to grab the creeps.
I'm intrigued why they decided to go for this lane setup, rather than having the Slardar versus the Bristleback. I guess they wanted to have the Slardar shut down the Alchemist harder. That's why they put him in the matchup down there, but yeah, a bit curious.
I mean, I imagine, well, yeah, look. They're going to get on top of Ace under the tier 1.
Yeah, I mean, they can. It's a melee hero, right? Melee versus Slardar is pretty disastrous usually.
Can they go for Tofu as well? I guess a little hard. The tower hits coming in.
Acid spray under tower. Okay, so I guess, yeah, that's probably the idea behind it, is just to be laning versus that Al. You don't want him to be getting that early timing that we saw from 33 the other day, that super fast radiance from the off lane.
Top Misha. Constantly looking to see if he can get the setup onto Celery around the pool. See bottom of the... Might be able to get... Oh no. Of course, Heavenly Jump. Always lovely to have against these Tusk lanes.
What an ability, honestly. I love how you just see him picked so much more often. He did get like double buffs, of course, but Zeus just in every game, it feels like now. Yeah, let's see how mid goes. I mean, it's a bit. This one's the least one I think we'll look at, because it's a bit of that boring matchup.
Yeah, no one's dying there.
Farm. But the important thing is that because Boom, because they blocked the small camp of the puck, the DK will probably come out slightly ahead. Oh, look at this. Yaragi's actually using his treants to kill bounty runes. So he did kill the one right there, of course. I think BZM was actually perhaps going for it, but either way, you see Celery, he backs up to check the area, check the bounty rune, get some stacks, and he's like, oh man, there's no bounty, but he will get the double stack available for his Bristleback, but it's getting scouted, so that's why you see that deep ward being placed there. They're going to know these stacks are going on, and probably going to get contested pretty early.
Tiger. He's just chasing out Tofu here. Is he going to have him?
He might. Ooh, close.
He's going to be able to get out, but we'll have to take a walk back to base here.
You cannot ever forget how much right-click damage Zeus does. Look at that base damage. It's beautiful. One of the higher ones in the game for these ranged heroes.
Mid lane.
Just constant back and forth harassment.
I mean, can they either start bringing any sort of supports in to try and look to get a kill here before the sixes?
No, not really. What we've seen so much is these pucks, like, you have to make the call, right? You'll have to say, they're gonna, like, DK's pushing mid, we're gonna have to bring like 1 or 2 extra heroes to kill the DK on his Elder Dragon form, which they can do pretty easily. Misha, he should be okay. They do have the global potential of the Nature's Prophet that can TP and always help these side lanes too, as well as the, like, you know, level 6 as soon as it comes out, so that's something that Boom does have to be a bit cautious of on his first Dragon form usage, because they do have great ways to, like, if he tries to commit for a tower, they have the Marcy that can throw him even deeper under the tower, / even break coil, and then they have the Wrath of Nature that can come in, so he does have to be a little careful how aggressive he plays to go for that tower.
With a bit of setup onto Dratcha, but at this stage, with the 3 points of the Quills and turning the passive, it does feel like these two heroes, they're not really going to kill Dratcha in this lane setup anymore.
And that's why I was mentioning, like, it's a bit interesting that they chose for this lane setup.
Sure, because they're not...
He's eating the treants, he gets to farm them extra, and you're not really shutting him down at all, but it's the choice that they made, right? Having that Slardar versus the Alk to shut him down harder.
And yeah, bottom lane, for sure, no, Ace, he's not free farming.
No.
I mean, he's not getting massively shut down, like the farm, it's still there, but it's not some sort of explosive start where he's going completely left alone.
No, and he's at risk of dying. You know, if he does make like an overstep, he will just get killed from the Slardar Zeus, plus even a TP from one. So Zeus, Dream Coil is online, DK also has hit 6. And BZM, he does have a DD, so that does pose a bit of a threat for Boom to actually go for any type of aggressive play with his Dragon form. Go for the tower at all. Here's the first rotation. Oh, Dyrachyo, they got him.
Yeah, good setup there from Misha. And indeed, with the DD, a couple of hits is all it takes. Dyrachyo still very easily dealt with when they bring in a +1.
He had his vitality booster too. He seemed like ran toward the secret shop. He's like, please let me buy the Vanguard, but gets brought down before he's able to. And BZM keeps Coil available.
Oh, look at this move, straight towards the bottom, Misha. He's going to try and set up some action here, and he'll do so successfully. Tofu gets taken out. Ace will be able to throw out the concoction. He's on his own once again and has to back off, especially now with the 6 online for Amar. Huge kill potential on both of these melee heroes the Gaimin Gladiators have had down here.
This is the power of Marcy. The early game, first 10 minutes is always very threatening for any lane. You show, if you're in range of Marcy, if you see the Marcy, you're probably dead. That's kind of the joke that people have been throwing out. They're so good at repositioning. Looks like Tiger's gonna go scout some stacks if they do have it. They know that those are available now.
I mean, Ace.
Ace.
They could just dive this man. He's gonna need TPs. See Celery head over. They'll punish Tiger for that. But they're very much gonna have to be completely prepared to get into bail Ace out. If Amar starts to poke under the tower.
Ace has to, he's still sitting very low. Nature's Prophet about to hit 6 too. Ace does have to be a bit careful how he steps up in these next few moments. Misha continues to get aggressive wards down, scout things out. Can he get Courier? One-shots it. Nice play with the sidekick. Power Rune. Haste Rune will be denied away from the puck. That rotation for Celery actually works out pretty nicely bottom. He has his Urn done, so he gets an Urn charge, goes mid, kills a Rune, and now potentially might be able to set up for something else here, keeping Ace topped off.
A bit of a slower start from Gaimin Gladiators this time round, but they're not a bad one as Tiger.
Pushing the limits, really, of this heavenly jump.
He was pretty deep there, sort of surrounded by 3 heroes, but a nicely placed jump. He's back into the shadows, and they won't be able to find him.
Celery knows that in the meanwhile, they're also stealing the stacks, so I think they're pretty happy about this. In the meanwhile, They know that he did place a ward down, the way the Taiga's playing. So you see the first ward, Sentry misses. Immediately second one is bought by Celery, but very good aggressive wards. OG, they're scouting out the stacks. They know the type of greed play that Gaimin Gladiators is trying to play with the Bristle. And they're going for these invade plays early.
See Amar there.
Just dive.
Just straight in. Yeah, you can't come close to this Slardar.
Mask of Madness done already.
He will rip you to pieces with these bashes.
And like even Dyrachyo, if he steps up too far top, a Slardar TP, he only has 5 armor. He'll put negative. Sure, he's got a Vanguard, but he will not look tanky once he's Corrosive Hazed.
Now he's going to head down to the bottom lane, Dyrachyo.
Okay. They don't want to lose this. I don't think anybody else can really go down there versus Amar right now, so he doesn't want to lose the tower super early. OG continuing to want to play aggressive. A very early Witchblade. No boots on BZM, but Witchblade plus Fairy Trinket already online. So his damage, it's high. If they find actually pretty much anybody, even Ace, very likely he'll go down. They have the Wrath of Nature on top too. And he shows.
They're going to be able to get the jump in. So if you get the angle to break the coil, they can. Nice positioning there from Misha to make sure that he gets that guaranteed snap on the coil with the dispose.
It's one of my favorite combos, really, the Marcy Puck, just watching them play it patiently. Being able to break that coil constantly. It's also, I like the skill build too. I like when people go for like 2-1-2 on this hero. As the damage.
I mean, Amar's going to try and do this on his own. He will have to back off, especially with the TPs coming in. But that was half the HP of Dyrachyo's, and that was just solo. So just showing the potential of the damage Amar can still do, even against a Bristle with a Vanguard.
He's actually going for treads on the Bristleback. Okay, I know he's carry, but a lot of times when you do see them, especially when they're playing versus something like Slardar, they ideally want to get some type of armor early into their build. He really is deceptively squishy.
I mean, Misha, he's in with the setup. Further TP's coming in. BZM's going to be able to jump forward. If they've got enough burst to bring him down, they certainly do. There's nowhere for him to run. BZM takes the kill.
Oh, I was worried about this Puck getting an early start like this too. Even though
he's looking at him at the top.
It's only a DK. That's the only reliable stun that they have for him. Everything else he can disjoint pretty easily. The Tusk, the Alchemist, etc.
Oh, and he wants to play for, so going for this full early game damage, the Witchblade into the urn for him.
Okay, so I guess he wants the Vessel. It is a super valuable Vessel game.
Great, yeah, it is. And he's going to be the hero to farm it the quickest.
Yep.
And, oh, Ace.
Ace, he's going for the... Okay.
Oh,
so he's just going to feed the Ags to the Bristle early on.
I guess that's the plan.
Okay. I mean, that kills his net worth.
It does kind of make him a bit of a non-hero. So indeed, putting everything into the basket of Dyrachyo by rushing him and Ags.
Okay. As you mentioned, OG, they're playing a greed style where they're going to have 3 scaling cores, and this kind of feels like Gaimin Gladiators is going to put themselves into position of only having the Bristleback to rely on. And looking at the itemization, Yuragi, he's going for Deso. So we already mentioned it. He's going treads on Bristle. So armor's going to be low.
Physical DPS here, right?
Deso NP plus a Corrosive Haze that's going to be high level because of how Amar's game is going. Seems like it could be some problems for Gaimin Gladiators pretty quickly in this one.
I mean, the question is going to be as well, do you think this was the plan here with the offlane Alchemist pick, or is this a reaction to how the game's going?
It must have just been the plan. We thought even 33 would do it the other day.
We did, you know,
when he was playing with the Wyvern.
That's when he had a mid-Wyvern, right?
Yeah, but he had such a good game that he was just like, I'm the carry now. So things do switch up when you do have that good game. But
well, we'll see if it works out. I mean, it will mean, of course, that Dyrachyo's going to get an insanely fast Aghanims. Means he himself can go for this BKB after the Vanguard.
He's still going to have no armor. That is still my biggest concern about the Treads build. Unless he finds some type of like armor item in particular, like a neutral item. He's still going to look fairly squishy, getting put negative. A Deso hit plus a Corrosive Haze. And as we said, Amar, he's having a very good game. So he'll hit level 12 early. So they'll have like minus 22 armor pretty early on.
Just 900 gold away from the Aghanims. So it will, of course, be there. Still at very, very good timing.
All right, Deso's on. All right, so sorry, minus 21 armor. Apologies. But still, you look at his armor, he has 9 right now. He'll be put to negative 12. So that tankiness will look a lot different. Zeus also scaling, as we said. OG, they like to distribute their farm. So he's also going to have good timings to be able to burst down these tanky strength cores. And yeah, Misha, we did see point that, of course. He's going more for the sidekick build. He's just going to be buffing up both his Slardar or his Nature's Prophet with the max sidekick early on. And that counteracts a lot of quill damage. It does, so it's a pretty ridiculous amount of sustain that comes in. But game has slowed down a little bit. OG getting their farm. Same thing for Gaimin Gladiators. So that Aghanims is going to be done right now.
It's going to be done.
So let's see what they're going to be able to do with it for Dyrachyo. He knows too, like, of course, Dyrachyo, it's not like he's unaware that the armor is going to be an issue. He queues up plate mail afterwards, but, you know, that time before he has plate mail, we'll see how it goes. Blink done for Amar. So pace of the game now feels like it's going to kick up quite quick on the side of OG.
Now, I think, so when you do this as like the offlane Alchemist, as Ace is, after the Aghanims, you know, you're buying one here for the Bristol, and then what you are going to see the normal items start to come out for Ace. He's going to go try and turn himself back into his own core.
I wonder. I think he should get. I honestly feel like he should get something like a medallion at least, so that then he can like buff up his Bristol even more. Since the whole draft is going to be about Bristol, I want him to go down that route. But I mean, maybe he could just get another Aghanims and give it to a DK, but that doesn't sound too good this game.
Accelerate. He'll go down. We'll see. Maybe Amar trying to find Ace, but Ace will be able to retreat in time. And there we go. Hands the Aghs over to Dyrachyo.
Okay. Let's see what they can do.
So 14 minutes Aghs on the Bristol hit, thanks to the out.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I'm still pretty concerned. I have to be honest.
But because it does mean you've basically not got an offlane.
No.
There's no offlane.
No offlane. You're all reliant on this DK and Bristol, and they're quad scaling.
Dude, he's still got it, unless it was queued up from... No, I think he's re-queued it up. He's got another Aghs queued up. Ace is just going to be farming Aghs this game.
Okay. Yeah, I said it's a possibility that he just gives the DK and Aghanims too, but it's, the DK is playing into this high minus armor. So yeah, look at, we see there the math, of course, let that effective HP does not look nearly as high. 9-1 already.
Dire are scanning.
I almost feel like even he should buy the plate mill before finishing BKB at this point. They see him right now.
Let's go. This was the big investment here from Gaimin Gladiators, isn't it? It's looking just like the markets. Straight downhill. That was a lot of money on that man, and he dies.
They already have the Vestal even on BZM. This game looks like it could be a disaster.
Trying maybe something a little bit different. The old offlane out, rushing the Aghs. But it's getting punished. It's getting punished very heavily here. OG, they're just bringing the fight. And when you've only got two cores, essentially, that you know you still have that you can present. And of course, Dyrachyo here, the man that was handed the Aghs, it's just not looking like it's doing much at all. He still dies incredibly easily, and you put a lot of money and resources onto that hero.
Oof, and he bought a shard now too. I think they know that this game is already getting completely out of control. He's got still the same amount of armor, so the effectiveness just gets better. Yeah, Slaughter now level 12, 13. So yeah, even more minus armor. I think Zeus is about to have his shard done too, so you know, it's tough to be tanky when you're playing versus this type of draft, even as a bristleback. If they don't get this Rosh, it feels like the game might just be pretty impossible for them to turn around. So let's see if they do. It gets scanned out immediately, but it feels like they have to commit for this.
So are you going to do anything about this?
They don't have Zeus.
Imagine they can.
They don't have Wrath of Nature. They look like they're just going to give it up. They see it.
Yeah, they're completely aware this is happening. And indeed, they'll let Gaimin Gladiators take this. So a little bit of something. Now get that Aegis onto Dyrachyo.
Is he still... Okay, Ace is still going to be... Okay, I thought maybe he switched it up, but no, still just going to go for that second.
He wants those Aghanims.
Okay. I want somebody to build someone to build a medallion or something. Right now I see the drums for Tofu. What do we have for Celery? Okay, Celery's going to be the one building medallion. Right.
Okay.
I was hoping somebody did, because they do need a little bit of armor for this bristle.
Yeah, they got to buff him up. Yeah. You know, if you're going to go for this sort of strat, you have to go all in on just protecting Dyrachyo, keeping him alive.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And it has to just be like them running around. It looks a little weird, but the way they have to play is like Ace jungles and 4 heroes, like 3 heroes sit on top of the Bristol to make sure he doesn't get picked. Which just means that I feel like OG, they're just going to get more gold out of the map. They're going to keep split pushing with the Nature's Prophet. They'll look up for setup for Amar when he feels comfortable. So even though they got this Aegis, they have to force something with it. Otherwise, they will just get to continue to be out-farmed.
They're getting objectives out of this. Yep. They get Roche, they get the tier 1 mid. So OG giving them a bit of space, but
are fortified.
I always feel like there's going to be some concern, you know.
Oh, they got the courier with the plate
had
mail.
his armor on. They will be able to dive in, take out Tiger.
Okay.
But Amar's killed off Ace's courier as well. You know, finally these courier snipes them up. BKB's nearly done for him. But yeah, the plate mail out of action for a couple of minutes. At least, of course, you know, having the Aegis to rely on here, Duracho. So Gaming Gladiators can still look to move around and get maybe a bit more around, you know, with this outcome. So ready, how close is he to the next Dags? He's got it, yeah.
He's got it done when it respawns.
Alcax is done.
Do they give it? Do you give it to the DK? I mean, do you want a Tusk to be booting people
That's what
around?
I'm feeling like. If you feel the game's getting rough, maybe having that kick on Tusk ready for the high ground
they'll
defense.
just give it to Boom. I mean, it's too good. Sure, he won't be Black Dragon yet, but even level 3 Dragon form is pretty nice at this point in the game. The slow can be pretty decent. But yeah, as you see, literally running as a 4-man unit.
Yeah, you have to
all
do
about
this, right.
Bristle. Well, Alk farms up.
You've had him this Ags, this insane timing because of the Alchemist benefit. You've got to look to use it.
Misha breaks the smoke. And Boom can't blink, he gets cancelled. And now, 3-man coil.
3-man coil! Oh, they just die immediately!
Oh boy.
Immediately, they just disappear!
And Duracho, he may have an Aegis, but he's gonna get brought down twice. 5 versus 1.
I mean, it's looking very scary. You know, at OG, they were sort of like, yeah, you can take the Roshan.
Like, whatever.
Yeah, you can take the tier 1 mid. And then, you know, they finally sort of decide, they're like, all right, guys, should we go for a team fight? Here we go, job done. Matter of seconds, 3 heroes dead. Gaming Gladiators just not standing a chance there.
No. A perfect really from BZM. And now they have BKB done on Yuragi, BKB done on Amar.
Let's see. More Aghanims. Let's go. Ace, as I said, yeah, waiting on that courier. Looks like he's going to start building for himself after these 2 Aghanims. So this looks to be what the plan was all along here. Get the Ags for the Bristle, Ags for the DK, and then look to sort of resume normal farming for himself, Ace.
But OG, I mean, they were the kind of the I mean, not this OG, of course, not these guys, but they were the ones who kind of invented this off-lane Alchemist. What, 2 years ago, I believe it was, when they were just giving this to the Void Spirit in particular, the Monkey King. They would play this on Seb, hand this Aghanims over, and get this big timing. So they have an idea of how to play versus this, I'd imagine. And right now, it's looking like a perfect game plan. They have this Tricore that's farming, as they always do, and they have a Zeus who scales incredibly well versus this damage. Incredibly well versus these tanky heroes.
Let's see what they can get going next.
Ooh, they even give the Marcy the Brig. This is a really good Marcy item, the Brigand's.
I mean, yeah, you're on about this one. It's just such a hugely beneficial item.
Since you hit so fast, you're able to just get the increased benefit of it, especially. Even though you're this 4 position, you're always getting the sidekick on yourself as well, too, when you buff up an ally. So you do actually do quite a significant amount of damage. And he's 12. They are getting this very good scaling.
We got smoke time here from the 2 of them.
Yeah,
Misha and Amar.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Let's see if the second Aghanims will make anything work.
Of course, he's not got anything at all on himself to protect him from this sort of jump. Tofu's also going to be caught out. OG very much showing if they want to get some kills, they can get them. They can pretty much get what they want.
Look, Tiger's not even afraid. He's jumping towards the Bristleback. Coil connects. Do they have follow-up?
They do.
They sure do.
Amar's in on top of him. That's going to be Duracho taken out.
19-2.
It's getting... It's been very, very rough. And as I say, it's just a strat that they've just completely punished their OG Gaming Gladiators. They go for this offlane out. They rush the Ags, but they rush their Ags for Duracho. And Duracho, he's 0-5-1.
He really is. BZM is also just completely popping off on the puck, as we kind of felt like could happen this game.
And Amar, you know, 6-0-10.
They're all just
having a fantastic time on Slardar. Yep. As I say, not a hero that we're seeing a lot of teams really play. But Amar, both of these games, having a great time on it. And it's had a huge impact. This sort of buff up with the minus physical armor, they can't survive through it.
No, and he's 18 now. So Corrosive Haze is already maxed out at 23 minutes of the game.
That's so much damage.
So he might have a plate mail, but yeah, he's still going to be negative armor, you know. He's got 23 armor, but with the Deso hit plus that, he's still just negated. And there's always Static Field also coming to play, as we were mentioning, for the Zeus. And Spirit Vessel. I mean, they've itemized pretty much perfectly on the side of OG. Gaming Gladiators continue to just have to play as this 4-5 unit. They revealed themselves in mid. They used the Fireball on the creep wave. So OG, there you know exactly the positioning of them at the moment. They're gonna just stick together.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I mean, how did Gaming Gladiators take a fight?
I don't know.
Like,
I really don't know.
Who are you sort of looking for in these team fights that you're saying, you know what, guys, we can go on this person and we can kill them without losing anyone ourselves?
It's like somehow they have to get on BZM and kill him immediately, but they just, at this point, there's going to be so much follow-up, and then there's going to have other massive problems because they do have this like tri-quad core already for OG. And OG's, they're reading the movements perfectly, right? Like the whole game, it does feel like they just know exactly where Gaming Gladiators is positioning. They're getting the wraparound. Suso to scout.
And straight in they go. They'll take out Celery. They'll push Tofu off to the side. Boom will come in with the Dragon Tail onto BZM, but it's only going to be a momentary stun. Amar, he's on top of the Bristol. Dredger was able to bring down Misha.
Amar just pretty much solo killed the Bristleback, let's be honest.
There's 4 dead. Ace is going to try and run. He has got the blink up, but they're going to be chasing. Sprouts up. Ace will cut his way through, but Amar's in on top of him with the bashes. It's a team wipe.
Godlike for Amar. Not a smile. Not even a little smile for us.
This has been a rough one.
It's been a rough one for sure.
It's been a rough one.
OG just seems to have had their number after that, you know, kind of disaster that happened in the first game around that Roche pit.
Yeah,
they knew exactly.
I like that. You know, even after sort of the rough way that the second half of game 1 went, Gaming Gladiators, they weren't afraid to turn up in this game 2. Try, you know, a bit of a gimmicky strat, of course, with the offlane out, rushing the Aghanims, but it's not worked out.
No,
it's not worked out at all here. OG have just completely walked over it.
Level 20 now on Slaughter, even more minus armor. All right, the buyback.
See what they can do with this. Amar,
they want Amar.
It's getting a little bit low, and he will go down. So the buyback will get the job done. Yuragi, he's able to TP out just in time. That was very, very close. See if they can get the kill on Puck as well. They can.
Will. Okay.
Gaming Gladiators holding on. And keep the racks alive and get the kill. 2 of them, the big ones, Amar and BZM, showing still a little bit of a sign of life here.
They're going to need quite a few more of those. But a good sign of life in particular. Got Godlike streak and a Wicked 6 streaks. And Duracho got one of the last hits especially too, so very important for him. So actually the 2 most important heroes in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you get the Solar Crest now for Celery to buff up the Bristleback, and Bristol should have a follow-up item after this DKB pretty soon. And oh, is Roche? Oh, that would have been so lucky for them if it was an instant spawn Roche. Small signs of life.
Misha. He's not going to want to mess around with Duracho too much, just the 2 supports hit.
Yuragi also has Silver Edge done, of course, so the break versus both the DK and the Bristleback will be quite potent. Also going to have AC pretty fast in this game, as we saw, you know, of course, Amar, even though he could have bought an AC, he wants his Moonshard.
Gaming Gladiators able to pull out that defense around the mid. See if they're now able to go for anything aggressive, or if it's just going to be a case of waiting for OG to push once more.
They have an Arcane Rune on the Bristle.
And they're going to try and go.
This could be something that allows him to maybe open up his damage.
So they had a good defense there, but can they actually take fights outside of the map?
They also have BKB and 18 on DK, so now he does have Black Dragon form. And a bit more protection to be able to stick on top of the puck.
Let's have a look. OG, they're smoked up themselves. The scam will catch Gaming Gladiators, so OG know exactly where to head.
And bottom is getting sieged. You cannot neglect these treants. The greater treants are going to be able to take down this tower.
They're going to try and force the Roche here, Gaming Gladiators. It's going down very quickly.
They're getting low.
They're in. There's going to be the jump. They'll put the BKBs, but Amar just beating down on the DK. Just shatters. Boom just disappears here to the physical damage that OG have. Everybody's going down. It's a team wipe in a matter of seconds, and they'll call it. They've had enough. GG.
Again, the Zeus